Okay, so this is the day we have chosen to go ahead and get the 2 grapevines in the ground that I had bought. According to the instructions that we found, you're supposed to dig a hole about 2 feet in diameter, kind of give or take. You want to make sure that the roots are able to be spread out and are not wrapped. Apparently there's something called the dreaded J root, where they kind of get stuck in a J position and don't stretch out and grow. We've kind of sized the hole to the root system on the 2 plants that we have. Because we are scrap cyclers, we're using what we had. So the wooden posts that my husband used came from pallets that we got for free. And this orange right here, when we bought our house, there were several satellite dishes scattered around the property. So this wire is actually coax that had been buried under the ground and had gone to one of the satellite dishes. So rather than just wasting it or doing something else with it, we decided it was strong enough, heavy enough to use to hold the grapevines. My grapevines, the roots have been soaking probably about 20 minutes now. I need to give them another 10 minutes or so. One thing I read said to let them soak for about 10 minutes, or for about 30 minutes, but no more than 2 hours. So we're letting those do that. I'm getting ready to take the soil that my husband dug up out of the ground, mix it with a little bit of peat moss to kind of supplement it, help it. We've got really dense soil here, so we want to make sure that the roots have room to grow and they're not like cramped in and stuff. So we're mixing some peat moss in it. That's one of the... So we are very excited. It's almost getting dark, but my husband has just done a tremendous job. He dug the holes for the 2 grapevines. We got them in. I'm using my tomato trellises right now because it's not time to plant tomatoes yet, just to keep the plants up until they can catch hold of the first wire, because it'll take them a little while, of course, to grow up to where they're going to be. But I don't know anything about grapes other than I like to eat them. So we did some YouTube research, YouTube University, and we've done what I think is going to be right. I went ahead and put some mulch around it, because when my husband weed eats and stuff, I wanted something that was a barrier between weeds and the weed eater and the plants. We do have deer and we do have bear in the area, and we also have neighbors with grandchildren. So we figured that between 2-legged and 4-legged critters, it would just be better if we went ahead and put a fence around it. So my husband, because we have pallets, God's blessed us with pallets, my husband just threw together real quick an pretty awesome fence, I think, with pallets. He even made a gate over here. We had some old hinges. Now this is not meant to like hold the weight. It's just something to kind of attach it at one end so we can slip in and out. It's not like we're going to be in and out of it very often. But I'm really excited. For me, it looks good.
Now on the wires.
Yes.
This is wires are pulled out of the ground from a satellite dish that we ain't using. And I fixed the board here where we can make it tighter with more boards as we need it.
Yeah, because once the grapevines actually grow and start producing fruit, it's going to cause some sag on these. I guess this was what, coax?
Coax.
That had been buried. When we moved here, when we bought this place, it had multiple satellite dishes in various places. And so we've used one to put house numbers on down by our driveway. And we're using this stuff for different things. Repurpose anything you can get your hands on. Repurpose. So yeah, so great way to reuse this coax that we weren't going to use.
Also,
go ahead.
When you dig in a hole, make sure that if you're in an area that has call before you dig, you call. Get them to mark your property.
Yes.
Because I have seen people put a birdhouse into a coax, not a coax, a fiber optic cable that went clean across the county that nobody, 18 inches down, he hit this daggone fiber optic cable. I've seen gas lines go across a farmer's field. If you haven't been in the area for 100 years and know everything underneath your property,
Yes.
you had better call before you dig.
Yeah, we've called and you know, once you have a ticket on file, it's real easy to go back and have it reinstated. We've had multiple different things that we have opened a ticket for, and so you definitely want to, because if you don't call before you dig and you do damage, then you are financially liable. And you don't want that. So, but anyway, I had one more thing. Hang on, I'll bring it over here. You can talk for a minute.
Well, I reinforced the base with an extra board at the bottom, put some screws in. The posts are dug into the ground and put in. They will not last forever. They're just off of the pallets, but they'll last a couple of years. And by then we'll do something different.
Who knows? The Lord may come back before then.
We're kind of anticipating that, but if it doesn't happen, we'll do something different.
So I wanted a little stool, something I could either kneel on or sit on while I'm doing work in the garden, because I've had some issues with my knees, and I have a hard time getting up and down, and I don't want pain again. Well, I was using a bucket, and my wonderful husband thought about this. It's a shower stool that I bought at a yard sale last year for $1, because I thought it would help me once we finally get a tub back in our house. And so he brought it out today. He said, you might want to use that, because I was using this in a bucket. So I lowered the legs all the way, and I have a wonderful little bench now that I can sit, and especially with my raised beds, it's going to be the perfect height. So again, if you're out at a yard sale, I didn't think about it at the time that it might be useful in the garden, but start thinking outside the box and looking at things for more than what their original intended purpose was. Because this is going to help me tremendously, especially out there by my raised beds where I'm going to be weeding and stuff like that. So I think that's it. My husband's still digging holes for blueberries. We're not going to get them in today, but we did get the grapevine project done. So thank you for joining us. We hope that we're an encouragement to some of you, that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of stuff. You just have to have a desire and follow it. So
you obviously don't even have to know what you're doing.
Yeah. YouTube University, baby. YouTube University. No, you can. There's places to learn. I've been online looking up grapevines and what had to be done and stuff, and we'll see how they come out. But if you don't try it, you won't have it. And I want to encourage you folks that are, that do have your own property, to go ahead and put in some things that will, once they start producing, they will come back year after year and produce. You want to plant, fruit trees and berry bushes and grapes if you like grapes, and and other perennials that will keep coming back, because then you're putting in something for the future. So
And I never really wanted to get into homesteading. I helped my grandmother when I was younger. I found out they sold that stuff at the store. Now when you go to the store, you don't know what's on it, what's in it, and whether you really ought to eat it.
I've homesteaded in the past when my kids were younger, and yeah, I know a whole lot more now than what I did back then. So we're just gonna share our journey with you. And again, you know, we want to encourage you. Make sure you spend time with the Lord every day. We're gonna go in and we're just gonna thank Him for His goodness, for blessing us with our home and with the things that we can do to you know, to put our homestead together. So with that, y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next video. Make sure, see, I gotta remember this. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. So we would appreciate it. You know, we're not out there, you know, it'd be nice to have 1 million subscribers, but we just want to help people. So, you know, anybody that you think that will be blessed by what we're doing, please share. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Bye-bye.